blood of Christ does not perfectly cleanse us here from sin. In regards to the stirrings of it, the old serpent will be sometimes stinging us and sometimes foiling us. The righteous soul will be vexed with corruptions within it, as well as the abominations of others without it. The Canaanite is in the land, and therefore the virtue of the blood of Christ is expressed in our power of wrestling, not yet in the glory of a triumph. It does not here perfectly free us from the remainders of sin, so that we may be still sensible that we are fallen creatures and have every day fresh notices and experiments of its powerful virtue, and that His love might meet the daily valuations in a daily sense of our misery. But this blood shall perfect what has begun, and the troubled sea of corruption that sends forth mire and dirt shall be totally removed. Then shall the soul be as pure as unstained wool, as spotless as the dew from the womb of the morning. No wrinkles upon the face, no bubbling up of corruption in the soul. The blood of Christ shall still the waves, expel the filth, crown the soul with an everlasting victory. See Hebrews chapter 12, verses 23 to 24. But the blood of Christ perfectly cleanses us from sin here in regards to condemnation and punishment. Thus it blots it out of the book of God's justice. It is no more to be remembered in a way of legal and judicial sentence against the sinner. Though the nature of sin does not cease to be sinful, yet the power of sin ceases to be condemning. The sentence of the law is revoked, the right to condemn is removed, and sin is not imputed to them. Where the crime is not imputed, the punishment ought not to be inflicted. It is inconsistent with the righteousness of God to be an appeased and yet a revenging judge. When the cause of His anger is removed, the effects of His anger are extinguished. Where there is a cleansing from the guilt, there necessarily follows a removal of the punishment. What is the debt we owe upon sin? Is it not the death of punishment, but is righteously inexact for the fault committed? When the blood of Christ therefore purifies any from their guilt, it rescues them from the punishment due to that guilt. Herein does the pardon of sin properly consist, in a remission of punishment. The crime cannot be remitted, but only in regard of the punishment merited by it. If God should punish a man that is sprinkled with the blood of Christ, and pleaded for by the blood of Christ, it will be contrary both to His justice and mercy. To His justice, because He has accepted the satisfaction made by Christ, who paid the debt and acquitted the criminal when He bore his sin in His own body upon the tree. It would be contrary to His mercy, because it would be cruelty to adjudge a person to punishment who is legally discharged and put into the state of an innocent person by the imputation of the righteousness of the Redeemer. Though the acts of sin are formally the same that they were, yet the state of a cleansed sinner is not legally the same that it was. For being free from the charge of the law, he is no longer obnoxious to the severity of the law. There is no condemnation to them that are in Christ.